I have a New Year's gift for all of you. You might have already seen that video. You may not have. My name is Andrew Hall. You may call me Dr. Kennard. This is the Disappointed Cat Morning Show, where we cover all the disappointed cats and the news, or at least the relevant news. This show goes from 9 a.m. to 9:25 a.m. Eastern Time, and then we do the after party after show from 9:30 to 10:30. On the first show, I speak the words, and then on the second show, you speak the words. Sometimes, and most of the time, I listen, and then I say words too, and we all have a good time. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a lifetime band. What? She got a red card, everyone. To those of you who know the power of the red card. She got red carded off of Twitter. Isn't that a shame? Her personal account, right? She has a personal account and she has a congressional account. The congressional account is still there. Why? Because she hasn't gotten into the trouble bubble there yet. But her personal account, no longer. Links are in the description. Holy freaking Christ. Happy Merry New Year. Twitter permanently suspends Marjorie Taylor Greene's account. Puppy dogs and rainbows and sunshine for everyone. Twitter on Sunday permanently suspended the personal account of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican from Georgia, after the company said she violated its COVID-19 misinformation policies. Twitter suspended Ms. Greene's account after she tweeted on Saturday falsely about extremely high levels of COVID vaccine deaths. I'm sorry, everyone. I can't do my Karen voice this morning. It's still a bit early. She included a misleading chart that pulled information from a government database of unverified raw data called the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, or VAERS. That's how I'm pronouncing it. A decades-old system that relies on self-reported cases from patients and healthcare providers. Do I get a shout out from the gunk in, gunk out crowd who understand what gunk in, gunk out means? It's no surprise that Marjorie Taylor Greene happens to advocate junk data in, junk analysis out. Twitter said that Ms. Greene had a fifth strike, which meant that her account will not be restored. The company had issued her a fourth strike in August after she falsely posted that the vaccines were failing. Ms. Greene was given a third strike less than a month before that when she tweeted that COVID-19 was not dangerous for people unless they were obese or over the age of 65, and said vaccines should not be required. Ms. Greene's official congressional account, Rep. MTG, remains active because tweets from that account did not violate the service rules. If I had a New Year's wish, it would be for that account too to be banned. Because you have to think to yourself, is she so crazy that now that her personal account is banned, that she's going to start shooting off her thumbs on her congressional account? And that would be wonderful, everyone. Twitter has long banned users from sharing misinformation that could lead to harm. In rare cases, the company has permanently banned high-profile accounts, including the account of former President Donald J. Trump, over the risk of further incitement of violence after a mob of Trump loyalists stormed the U.S. Capitol last January 6th. There is currently no evidence of widespread major effects from the coronavirus vaccines. The VAERS database, which is managed by the FDA and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, has been cited in many coronavirus falsehoods to push the idea that side effects from the COVID-19 vaccines have been underreported. Bam. There you go. Marjorie Taylor Greene permanently banned her personal account. One single tear. If that's not a Christmas present, New Year's Day celebrate, I don't know what is. I don't know what is, everyone. I hope you all had a good New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I hope everything went well for you. Anti-vaxxers should be referred to as pro-infectors. I like that. Yeah. Well, it's no surprise that the pro-lifers are pro-infectors too, right? Many pro-lifers, not all pro-lifers, but we all know that is the evangelical Christian crew, the big MAGA supporters of Donald J. Trump. They are the real anti-vaxxers. They're the core of the anti-vax movement. Oh, I hope everyone's doing well this morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I see what you did there. See, Marjorie Trailer Green got a ban on Grindr too. I see what you did there, John Hudson. Good morning, Tobin Templeman. John Hudson, I see. Big Zebra. Good morning, everyone. I hope your weekends went well. Mine did pretty well. Simply Secular Dave from the West Coast, safely in Canada. What's up, Jessi Bear? Hope you're doing okay. Sean, good morning, sir. Phil Lister, good. Scott Duke, I hope you're all doing well. And if you see me, if you're watching on Twitter, on Facebook, you'll see that I'm interacting with the chat here on YouTube. If you want to join us, then please check out Laughing and Disbelief. There should be a link somewhere there, right, on my Twitter profile. All right. Let's do something else. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's a feel-good story. But believe it or not, our second story is a feel-good story, but it's also a step forward for the United States of America, because we know that 2/3 of all bankruptcies are caused by medical bills. Sometimes those medical bills come as a surprise. Sometimes you'll go into and I know this is foreign. This sounds bizarre to many people who live in countries with single-payer healthcare where everyone's covered, right? But here in the States, and we talked about this a few months ago, actually, if you remember this story about how patients can go into a hospital to get some kind of procedure, an operation, and then they get hit with surprise bills. Because even though their doctor is insured by, the surgeon is insured by their insurance, other people, other service providers, like the anesthesiologist, for an example, or a specialist, may not be covered by their insurance. I know that sounds crazy, everyone. I know that sounds crazy. But this law that's now going into effect is going to change all that. Links in the description below. A new ban on surprise medical bills starts this week. This is actually a huge step forward. I haven't seen a lot of stories about this, but when we talk about structural changes in the system, structural changes that make life better for people here in the States, this is pretty huge. For years, millions of Americans with medical emergencies could receive another nasty surprise, a bill from a doctor they did not choose and who did not accept their insurance. It's like the for those of you who are acquainted with Franz Kafka, right? He wrote these stories about characters caught in a world of rules that they did not understand. His most famous book, I think, is The Metamorphosis. It's also another story, is The Trial. And if you haven't read The Trial, it's definitely worth your time. A law that goes into effect on Saturday, that's last Saturday, of course, will make such bills illegal. The change is the result of a bipartisan legislation that no one effing heard about, as that digression occurred, passed during the Trump administration and fine-tuned by the Biden administration. It is a major new consumer protection covering nearly all emergency medical services and most routine care. I think this is pro-consumer. It's so pro-patient, and its effect will eventually be felt by literally everybody who interacts with the healthcare system, said Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican from Louisiana, who is part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers who wrote the bill. He said he counted the bill as among his top achievements as a lawmaker. Look, I don't automatically crap on Republicans. Okay, maybe that's my knee-jerk reaction. But this is a case of a bipartisan bill. And you got to wonder why no one's heard about this. Possibly because partisan politics has gotten so toxic in this country that even engaging in a bipartisan bill can be toxic for your political base, at least if you're a Republican. All right. Next slide here. Even with insurance, emergency medical care can still be expensive, and patients with high deductible plans could still face large medical bills. But the law will eliminate the risk that an out-of-network doctor or hospital will send an extra bill. Those bills can add up to billions of costs for consumers each year. What does the law mean if I go to the emergency room? If you are having an emergency, a medical emergency, and go to an urgent care center or ER, you can't be charged more than the cost sharing you are accustomed to for in-network services. This is where the law's protection are simplest and most clear for people with health insurance. Yes, believe it or not, if you were in a medical emergency and you went to a hospital that didn't cover, that your insurance wasn't good at, then you would get sucked with a bill before this law. You will still be responsible for things like a deductible or copayment, but once patients pay that normal amount, they should expect no more bills. We shouldn't have to depend on people knowing minutia about insurance regulation in order for them to get care or not to be unfairly billed, said Anthony Wright, the executive director for Health Access California, a patient group that supported the federal law and that fought for a law that banned surprise bills in California starting in 2017. And yes, that's what they were officially called, surprise medical bills. Like, surprise, you had to get chemotherapy, but surprise, it wasn't really covered. Surprise, you had a heart attack and had to go get rushed to the hospital and you have insurance, but the hospital doesn't cover the insurance. Surprise, you would still get maybe a bankruptcy, a medical bill that would make you go bankrupt. Several studies found that 20% of U.S. patients who had emergency care were treated by someone outside their insurance network, including ER doctors, radiologists, or laboratories. Any of those providers could send patients an extra bill after the fact, and some medical groups did so routinely. Such bills are now illegal. Calais, everyone. What does the law mean if I need an ambulance? Yes, believe it or not, I know a few of my close friends, actually, who have had heart attacks and decided, I'm not going to call an ambulance. I'm just going to walk over to the hospital because I don't know if it's going to be covered, or they didn't know if it was going to be covered, or they didn't have insurance at all. So they just decided, just going to walk down. The new law does not prevent ambulance companies from billing you directly for their services if they travel on roads. It does offer protections against surprise bills from air ambulances. Ground ambulances were left out of the recent legislation because legislators determined they would need a different regulatory approach. Congress established a commission to study the issue and may consider reforms. What does the law mean for routine hospital procedures? For scheduled services like knee operations, C-sections, and colonoscopies, it's important that you choose a facility and a main doctor that is within your insurance plan's network. If you do that, the law bars anyone who treats you from sending you a surprise bill. This also addresses the large problem surprise bills from anesthesiologists, radiologists, pathologists, assistant surgeons, and labs were common before. If for some reason you are having a service and you really want an out-of-network doctor to be part of your care, the doctor typically needs to notify you at least 3 days before your procedure and offer a good faith estimate of how much you will be charged. If you sign a form agreeing to pay extra, you could get additional bills, but the hospital or clinic can't force you to sign such a form as a condition for your care, and the form should include other choices of doctors who will accept your insurance. Oh my fictitious God, this is a huge step forward. And that's right, you heard it here on the Disappointed Cat Morning Show. It's pretty incredible, to tell you the truth. That one, out of the 3 stories we're covering today, I got the most excited about this one because this creates real change in the lives of everyday Americans, everyday people here in the States. I'm going to check out the chat and see what's going on. Hey, Big Zebra, Tesla Ranger. Rage, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Rage. Sir Rage. I drove to the hospital and I had my minor heart attack. Yeah, no way paying for that. It's crazy. The thing is, everyone, most EMTs, most medical providers who are on the ambulances are only making a very small amount of money. $15 an hour, $16 an hour, maybe. Yes, EMTs in private ambulances do not get paid a lot, and yet the ambulance companies sock you for the bills. Big Zebra. It sounds like the U.S. healthcare system gives everyone a cashectomy. That's right. They separate sick people from their money. That's what they do. All right. You want to do something funny? You want to look at a cat? You want to celebrate a little bit more? Marjorie Taylor Greene being banned from Twitter, lifetime ban. This new law coming into effect for hundreds of millions of Americans. Let's celebrate with a cat. I know you want to see it again. All right, let's get serious. Okay, so depending on your point of view, this is either a nice feeling story or a bad feeling. I don't know what kind of feels it's going to give you, but let's face it. We know that the pandemic right now, it's a pandemic among the unvaccinated. And sometimes here on the Disappointed Cat Morning Show, we take a look at some of the unvaccinated, some of the really loud people, some of the toxic people who have caught COVID and died from COVID. And this is a case of that happening. This gentleman here on the right, definitely not a creepy looking dude. Definitely not. I think the woman over there, I think the woman in the picture might be a hostage. I'm not sure. But he's no longer with us. But let's dive into this story a bit. Andrew Wood, 56, of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, self-employed anti-vaxxer, dead from COVID. According to social media posts, Andrew died from COVID on December 30th, 2021. It seems this was a bad time for Andrew to kick off. He indicates that some of his cryptocurrency investments were paying off big time recently, and he was even wintering in Phoenix and Las Vegas. However, he was an adamant anti-vaxxer, which led to his demise. This gentleman, Andrew, he just wasn't an anti-vaxxer, but he was a loud anti-vaxxer. He was an anti-vaxxer that went on social media to try to influence other people not to get the vaccine. And how bad? What kind of stuff was he sharing online? Oh, I'm glad you asked, everyone. Here we go. With it's mandatory, I guess, if you're an anti-vaxxer, that you have to have some kind of meme about Anthony Fauci. Oh, Mr. Wood. And here's another one. No, wow. Well, at least the spelling was done correctly, right? A lot of these anti-vaxxers, they're not really big on the spelling. The gentleman here did get some, yeah, he did get his mask. He got his jaunty little hat on, and this is the last meme here. Who did he quote? What great libertarian author, great in parentheses, did he quote in this meme? Let's take a look. Nobody has the right to force others to do anything for their own good against their own judgment. And no one is surprised that this is from Ayn Rand. Yeah, you hear people pronounce it Ayn Rand. It's Ayn Rand, everyone. Yeah, so Mr. Wood, no longer with us. And wait, here is the message saying that he is no longer with us. Hey everyone, this is Andy's son Taylor. I just wanted to type a quick post here to inform his friends that Andy passed away last night due to COVID. We have received so many nice messages about him and want to thank you all. He was obviously loved by a lot of people and will be missed so much. I will make a follow-up post tomorrow with funeral and visitation details. Creepy Andrew Wood. Is the world a better place without you? Maybe, perhaps, probably. The world's a better place without you. All right. Checking out the chat. The U.S. healthcare system does astound. It is true, Phil Lister. Oh, hey, girlfriend's here. Hello, girlfriend. How are you? I should. All right. I just want to speciation in action. Tough but smart. Tough, smart, and appropriate at this time, Bill Lister. All right. Oh, here it is. Sean, I've had surprise medical bills myself. The last one was a radiology bill that my insurance company decided wasn't necessary. Funny, I don't remember that doctor being in the exam room with me. Jeez, man. Jessi Bear writes, that drives me nuts. I've had an insurance force me to get other tests before the one the doctor says is necessary. Yeah. American healthcare system, and here's the thing. A lot of people who conservatives who defend the American healthcare system, they'll say other people in other countries with single payer healthcare don't like their systems. But the thing is, everyone, you're not going to hear someone from Canada or Israel or France or England say, we want an American-style healthcare system over here. We want the whole medical system based on profits. You don't hear that. All right. Do I have news? I should have news. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say the news now. So tomorrow is Only Sky, the official launch. That is the secret project that's no longer secret. I believe the hard launch is tomorrow, the 4th of January. Fingers crossed. Hopefully everything will work out well. I'll be dropping links to the new site. Once again, it's basically a lot of bloggers, a lot of content creators from Pathos Non-Religious, which was the world's largest secular site, I just want to say, have moved over to this new one, Only Sky. The official launch is tomorrow. 2, someone from work has got the COVIDs. They got the COVIDs, and now where I work, my Monday through Friday job, they are understaffed, and that may require me to work extra hours, or they're going to ask me to work extra hours, possibly. So I might go in early tomorrow, which means I won't be able to do the show. I'm going to keep you all updated via Facebook, on Twitter, and of course on the community tab on the YouTube channel. Jessi Bear says, I watched a UK show tell people in the UK how much the US healthcare things cost with insurance, and people are shocked and upset by the prices. Yes, indeed, shocked and yes, upset. All right, I'm gonna have to cut. We're running low. We're running low on time. Once again, the after party, after show. If you want to be on the panel, it starts at 9:30. The link to be on the panel is down below. You want to see some more cats? Of course, you want to see some more cats.
Do you have a little cat? Is she really just a brat? Does she seem to have no trouble getting into things? Are you unable to sleep? 'Cause she doesn't give a bleep. Is your cat a brat? By Veronica.
And that's the world in cats. I'm going to drop the thank you video for YouTube members, supporters. Once again, there's no ads on this channel, right? There's no ads on this channel. This is funded by YouTube members, patrons, people who throw me a couple of pennies, a couple of dollars on Venmo or PayPal. Links to those PayPal, Venmo account things are in the description below. I'll see you at 9:30, everyone. Thanks again.